In this week's episode of Blooming in Brisbane, Claire Bickle visits a garden in Mount Crosbury, also shows us what bulbs are right to plant now. Noel Burdett with a plant from his own personal garden, but first, let's go to Noel Burdett with planting a feature.
Welcome back to Blooming in Brisbane. Today I thought I'd tell you a little bit about planting a feature planter for your garden. Now you can actually have it for yourself, or you may want to plant something up for a friend, or for Mother's Day, or for Christmas, or a birthday. It's a really great way of giving plants as gifts, and also something that they can enjoy for a very long period of time. Remember, when you're putting plants together, to try and combine colours or contrasting textures to create a lot of visual interest. Here I have a few interesting plants that we're going to be placing into this trough. And we have a beautiful small dwarf lamandra with beautiful deep green blue foliage. Then to contrast with that, we have a lovely brightly coloured coleus here. Everyone knows what a coleus is. And then of course we have some of the newer varieties of the calibrachoas. They look a bit like a miniature petunia, but they are a species all on their own, and they're a small ground cover plant that will cascade and spill out the sides of the pots. Now for a bit of extra drama, we're going to be putting in this gold striped variegated agapanthus. Now you might be thinking agapanthus grow too large, but this one only stays small and is quite happy to be used in a potted feature of this particular size. So this will be quite a happy plant, and as you can see, the colours complement each other. So what I'll be doing is putting these together and showing you how they can actually provide you with a lot of interest. It's really important to remember an element when you're placing plants together in pots for whatever reason, that you make sure that the plants are all going to work together for their different needs. So for instance, if the pot that you're going to be using is going to go out in the full sun, ensure that you have plants that can actually take that full sun position. You don't want to combine plants such as shade-loving plants and sun-loving plants into the same pot. It's a very important step, and often it's overlooked with the excitement of buying something bright and colourful. So always remember, shade-loving plants should always stay together, sun-loving plants should always stay together. Also, the water requirements for plants. Most people, like I have here, choose self-watering pots, and that's great, but just ensure that the plants that you put in aren't going to be wanting too much of a dry condition, such as succulents or cacti, for instance. So if you combine things such as succulents and cacti with the likes of, say, the impatiens, you'll find the impatiens will want the water, but the succulents and cacti may actually suffer because of it. So the water requirements are also need to be quite similar. It's a very easy step to remember. If you're a bit unsure, ask your local horticulturalist at the nursery and see what options they can offer you. And I'm sure they'll have so many different colours and different plants that you can choose from to get the combination that's right for you. Right, now we're ready to plant up our planter, and we've got a few selections here of plants I'd like to put in. So remember when you are putting plants into a nice pot, to make sure that their textures do actually counteract each other and you get an opportunity to enjoy them to their fullest. So I'll start off with this beautiful variegated agapanthus. Like I mentioned earlier, this is not a plant that will take up a lot of space, so you can quite easily put it into a planter such as this. I'm just putting it to the side so as it fills out, you'll see a nice change. Next, I'm going to be putting the calibrachoa. Now the beauty of calibrachoas is they grow like a very thick ground cover, and as such they will want to naturally spill out over the edge of the planter, so you create a lovely soft effect, while the agapanthus at the back grows a little bit taller and creates that effect. Now to counteract this yet again, and for a bit of colour, we've got this beautiful dwarf lamandra. This one here is called Frosty Top. So look out for it at your local nurseries. It's a beautiful sea blue green textured plant, and I think counteracts quite beautifully in with the calibrachoa as well. Next, I want to bring in a bit of extra spark into this. So I've got this lovely bright variegated gold and green coleus. Everybody loves coleus. They're one of the easiest things for anyone to grow, and they will keep growing and growing. And of course, you can grow coleus from cuttings very simply. So here I've put them into that position, and you can see they're all counteracting quite well. But we have a theme going here. Obviously the theme is yellow, and that's one of the very reasons why I've chosen a planter, a pot of this deep charcoal coloration, so you can enjoy them to their fullest.